Hey guys, my name's Jose, and this is another episode of Buy or Pass. In this series, I will look at the financial documents of a company and decide if I had money, would I buy or would I pass. Before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get info on new episodes and other videos. So let's begin. Like always, I'm going to use this website known as lazyfa.com, which allows me to see all this information in easy visual manners. Today we're going to take a look at the company known as Oracle. Alright, so here we're looking at Oracle right now, and let's start off with the income statement. In the income statement, we'll be able to take a look at the revenue. Revenue as a whole seems to be pretty plateau since 2012. In 2012, it was about $37.12 billion of revenue. Right now in 2018 is about $39.8 billion in revenue. So within 6 years, this company has only increased its revenue by about 2.5, less than 10% within 6 years. That does not look like a strong, healthy company to me. But let's keep looking. Cost of revenue as a whole seems to have decreased, but not by much. At around 2011, it was around 8.4 billion. Right now, it's about 8.1 billion. So cost of revenue has dropped down, but not by much, and we can see that in the gross profit, which is just the difference between revenue and cost of revenue. Just like revenue, it's been pretty plateau since 2012. 2012 it had $29.13 billion of gross profit, while right now it has 31.75. Again, we don't see that. We don't even see 10% increase in gross profit. But this is the scary part right here. Net income was $9.34 billion in 2017, and right now 2018 is $3.83 billion. It lost more than half of its net income, probably around 66% it seems to have dropped. That's a huge blow for Oracle seeing that. So right now we're going to take a look at red flags. It's another feature Lazy FA has. It just allows me to see the income statement in a whole different form. Here we can see revenue versus revenue cost. We can see revenue compared to revenue cost is pretty strong. But like mentioned before, it's pretty plateau since 2017, 2012. 2012 to 2018, there has not been much of a gross profit growth. Here we can see revenue growth has increased by about 5% this last year compared to the past year. But cost of revenue also increased by 8.19%. Alright, so right now, based on the income statement, this does not look good. But we still got a few more sheets to look at, and let's take a look at the balance sheet. So in the balance sheet, let's take a look at the total assets. Total assets from 17 to 18 seem pretty plateau, but it's had this healthy uptrend, so that's good. This assets is increasing. Hopefully it's not inventory that's increasing these assets. We'll take a look in a bit. But with increasing assets, liability seems to be increasing at a higher rate. Last year, liability was about 80.75 billion. Right now it's about 90.9 billion dollars, so increased of about $10 billion worth of liabilities in one year, when assets only grew 3 billion. So we can see that assets is growing at a slower pace than liabilities, and we can see here why. Total debt in 17 and 18 increased compared to 16 and 15. In 2016, this company had about $40 billion worth, $43 billion worth of total debt. In 17, that increased to 57, and right now it's currently sitting at 60 billion. Cash and cash equivalents, which is the only other thing I like to look at balance sheet, seems pretty healthy. It has about $21 billion of cash and cash equivalents. For those that don't know, cash and cash equivalents are both cash and any assets that can be sold very quickly to provide cash. So it has about $21 billion worth of cash. The only sad part is that's not enough. It's 1/3 of what's needed to pay that total debt. But we'll see how much of that debt is current debt in a few. Let's pull back to the red flags and let's take a look at balance sheet. Again, here we're just going to relook at the information we just saw in a whole different format. So here we can see assets versus liabilities. Assets has always been on top, but we can see liabilities is creeping up there on top of it. Here we can see percentage growth. Last year, 2017, assets grew 20%, but liabilities grew 25%. This year, assets only grew 2%, while liabilities grew 12%. So that's pretty scary to see that in 2 years, liabilities have increased by double digits. In 2017, 25%, and 2018, 12%, while assets have not been growing at the same rate. Let's continue down to see assets distribution. Here we get to see what the assets are made up of. And right now it seems most of the assets is being controlled by both intangibles and current investments. So I'm really not liking the way this asset distribution chart is broken down. Let's take a look at the liability distribution. So right now, current debt is only about $4.5 billion. This company has enough cash to pay this off this year. For those that don't know, current debt is debt that needs to be paid off within the next 12 months. So this company had about $21 billion of cash or cash equivalents. So it definitely has enough assets to be able to pay for this current debt. But look how big this non-current debt is. It's about $56 billion worth of it. Again, this is not looking too good for Oracle. There's one more sheet we're going to take a look at, and that's going to be the cash flow statement. In the cash flow statement, I really only like to look at one thing, and that's the net cash flow from operations. This is that it's producing positive cash flow from its everyday use, and right now it is producing pretty good money from its positive cash flow from its everyday use, about $15.39 billion. So let's just take a quick overview again. Income statement. So what did we learn? Income statement. Revenue has plateaued. Cost of revenue has plateaued. Gross profit has plateaued. But net income has decreased. So to me, that's looking bad for the income statement. We can also see that income statement, revenue growth and cost of growth have not. Next, let's take a look at the balance sheet. What did we learn from the balance sheet? In the balance sheets, we've seen that total assets are increasing, but we also see that liabilities are increasing at a higher rate compared to total assets. Last year was about 25%, while this year was about 12%, compared to 20% in assets and 2% this year. We've also seen total debt has increased, but the good thing is in cash and cash equivalents, this company has enough cash to pay off any current debt. And finally, cash flow statement. Cash flow statement has a positive cash flow, but again, it's pretty plateau. For me, I would have to say Oracle is a pass, just due to the everything being pretty plateau. But then we have net income decreased dramatically in 2018. In balance sheet, we have that strong total debt increase, and we also have liabilities increasing at a way faster rate than assets are increasing. So as you can see, for those reasons, I am going to give a pass on Oracle. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I mentioned, Lazy FA makes it so easy to look at all the information, which makes these episodes go pretty fast. I'm curious, would you buy or pass on Oracle based on the information we just saw? Also, don't forget to subscribe to get information on new episodes and other content. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.